How much time you have allotted to me? Go beyond the time allotted to me. Acharyasri Rajesh, Kulpati, Kasyapa Veda Research Foundation, Shri Velar Sarath Chandra Verma, very well-known poet, Shri Avittam Thirunal Aditya Verma, Shrimati Meera Rajesh, Shri K.G. Venugopal, Shri P. Pradeep Vedic, Shri Manu Kamal Vedic, Piriyapeta Sahodri Sahodran Mare, Ellavarkum Ente Namaskara. Kasyapa Ved Research Foundation Kulpati Acharyasri Rajesh Rachicha Samskrithiyude Vedamudra Inna Granthatinte Pirkashana Vum Swasthyam Paddhati Udghatana Vum Nirvihikan Atiyaya Santoshamun आदिवासी मेखला यिले नम्मुडे सौहार्दिक वैद्य सहायम नलकानुल्ला स्वास्थ्यम पद्धति के एंटे विजय आशंसकम लोकत्तिन आत्मीयत युदे शक्तियुम प्रकाशवुम नलकिया वेदंगर भारतीय तत्वचिंता युदे चैतन्य आण संस्कृति युदे वेद मुद्रा Inna Granthatti Lude E Chaitanyam Vayanakark Labhikatte E Pustakam Rachicha Acharya Shri Rajeshin Ente Abhinandanam. I am absolutely delighted to be here. Thank you very much for the honor that you have done me by your invitation. And I would like to compliment you for two great things which you have done, the Satkarmas. First, initiating the Swasthyam program to ensure medical and other help to our tribal sisters particularly and brothers. This Manav Seva is truly Madhav Seva, and I am reminded of what Swami Vivekananda said, that by serving man, we serve the God that dwells in every being. So this is truly the Madhav Seva. Secondly, I would like to express my admiration for writing this book, Samskrithiyude Vedamudra, which discusses the ancient culture of Bharat in the light of Vedas. A remarkable contribution to remind us Indians of our glorious heritage, civilizational heritage. I am underlining these words because most of the time, so much as I am aware that we are legatees of this great civilization, I am also aware that we have by and large not proved ourselves worthy, and we have not really done justice to our legacy. The whole world recognizes it has been by the scholars, not only Indian scholars, but world over. Everybody is so praiseful of the continuity of Indian civilization. We are not the oldest civilization of the world, but we are the oldest continuing civilization of the world. I know you will have difficulty in understanding, but I want to use a Urdu couplet to raise that question. I will translate it into English. In a patriotic song penned by Allama Iqbal, there are 4 lines. He is praising India. And he says, यूनान और मिस्र रूमा सब मिट गए जहाँ से, बाकी मगर है अब तक नामो निशां हमारा, कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी, सदियों रहा है दुश्मन दौरे ज़मां हमारा. What he says is, Yunan, Greek, Misr, Egypt, these are all old civilization, Roman civilization. Most of these civilizations today are subject matter of the study of archaeologists. But we survive as a continuing civilization, Indian civilization. Then he says, kuch baat hai. There is something in this civilization that we have survived despite the fact that for centuries we have lived under very, very adverse circumstances. It is for you to interpret what he is trying to say. Very adverse circumstances. Under adverse circumstances, it becomes very difficult for any culture or civilization to survive. Indian civilization has survived. And one of the best answers to this question, what is the secret of this survival, I find in the words of Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. He says, I love India, not because I believe in the idolatry of geography, not because I have had the good fortune to be born in her soil. These are not the reasons that I love India. Then why do you love India? I love India because she has, in extremely tumultuous circumstances, she successfully saved the living words which issued from the illuminating consciousness of her children. It is the word, the capability to save the word, to preserve the word, because it is through word that you preserve knowledge, you preserve wisdom. Whatever be the circumstances, if you have the capability to preserve and save the word, because that is the medium through which you can access knowledge and wisdom. If you have that capability, then you ensure that your civilization, your culture continues, despite adverse circumstances. And this capability has come from, it is the very firm foundations provided by Vedic literature, the principles of the Upanishad. Nobody will deny that. This is undeniable fact that our civilization, our culture has been provided very firm foundations by Vedas and the Upanishads. And the book that you have written and which we have released today, that book this is the 99th book. this very strongly gives expression to that capability. Because think about it. Books. What constitutes a book? An aggregation of words. Many words put together, they constitute a book. And where the word comes from? The word is combination of akshars, syllables. I should say the word consists of syllables, alphabets, which in Sanskrit is known as akshar. Akshar is what? Something which cannot be destroyed. So akshar in itself is something which cannot be destroyed. The combination of the akshars, how powerful that would be, you can only imagine. And then how powerful will be the combination of the words in the form of a book, that we can only imagine. This is the secret of the longevity and continuity of Indian civilization, because we have valued akshar and shabd above material things. We have always believed na aksharam mantrahinam na moolam naushidham ayogya purusham nasti yojak istatra dullabha. There is not a single syllable, not a single alphabet which does not have the power of mantra, magic. And there is no root, no greenery which is without the qualities of medicine. There is no human being who is without talent, capabilities. What is rare is the one who has the ability to recognize that talent and use that talent in a positive and constructive manner. So this basically, this foundation has been provided. This teaching to us comes from Vedas. This very psyche, this attitude, where akshar became more important than material gains, this is the teaching of Veda. There are various religious traditions and denominations in this world. That diversity has never disturbed the Indian thought or mind. The world as it is, the whole universe, for a long period, whole universe is full of diversity. And our seers, and I'm using this word consciously, because Rishi, normally the image comes to our mind, somebody who has taken sannyas, etc. No, he's seer. One who has the ability to see the divine signs, which are written large on the earth and in the skies. One who has that ability, he is the seer. Rishi means seer. They were great scholars. That scholarship was not a very comfortable scholarship. Today we have, for the scholars, we have all kind of facilities. They did not have that facility. In fact, their idea was tapa swadhyay nirittam. Tapa. What is tapa? Where you undergo austerities, you impose certain discipline, you impose certain hardships on yourself. Even today, despite the facilities, the true scholar, as you have rightly pointed out, disciple and discipline, they come from the same root. Even today, the real scholar will have to impose certain discipline on himself. So they gave us. It is true that in Indian tradition, the science Adhyatma Vidya, the science of the soul, has been given the highest place. Atma Nam, Vidya Nam, something like that. That of all the sciences, the study of the soul is the greatest. Atma Nam Vidhi. Know thyself, know thy soul. I have departed from what I had prepared to speak here because it is such a fascinating subject. It is such a fascinating subject. I will request you to go to YouTube and listen to some of the leaders of the modern thought in science and philosophy. Really, very, very profound talks where they are saying that we will be, as human beings, they are saying that it is going to take just another 20 to 30 years and we will be different human beings. Why? Because today computers can be hacked. Data system can be hacked. Sometimes the government systems come to a halt because somebody sitting in some remote town of China has hacked the computer system of the Pentagon. But now they are saying, they are not making prophecy. They are saying that within next 20 to 30 years, human beings will become hackable. Because all the data, the biometric data, and the power of the computer together, when you put it together, then it becomes a very, very potential weapon. I was saying today only in the morning, I said that you are sitting in a meeting. Some boss is there. So he's making some point. Everybody is approving. People are approving their heads, nodding their heads in approval. But after 20, 30, although they disagree, but man is boss, so they have to nod their heads in approval. After 20, 30 years, if this hackability becomes a reality, it will become impossible. Because that person knows from the computer screen, all your data is there. So he knows what is your blood pressure, what is your pulse, what is your, and computer also telling you that this blood pressure comes when you disagree with somebody. Or you agree with somebody. So, in fact, think about it. Most of the theories were based. I have deliberately mentioned this point because the whole moral system, whole ethics was based on that the real regulatory power is sitting somewhere beyond the clouds. And now world is waking up to the reality that regulating power is not beyond the clouds. that is here in each of us. But what a fortunate people we are. The world is waking up to this reality now. And what a fortunate people we are, that we were told since remotest times, we exactly do not know the date when these sutras were formulated, but we were told that Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi, that dwells in you and that dwells in you. The real regulatory power comes from within. It does not come from outside. In fact, our history tells us that most of India, particularly the rural areas, for centuries they hardly felt the presence of any government. Hardly felt the presence of any government. But was there anarchy in India? No. A term which is of recent origin, obedience to the unenforceable. We were subscribing that, we have been subscribing to that principle since remotest ages. Self-imposed discipline. We will obey certain laws. There is no authority. No, there was no authority. There was no police force to impose those laws. But the Indians voluntarily accepted. Where that wisdom come from? Certainly, that wisdom came from realization that whatever goes around, comes around. We wanted to do good, no, not because we wanted to be nice to other people. We were told to do good because that will be good for ourselves. You have just now mentioned about Dhan. In fact, in Indian thought, Dhan has been highlighted as something which you are not doing a favor to the other person. You are merely sharing the blessings which you have received with others. Atmam sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatmanam kirtalayam archaye dan manabhyam maitriya bhinen chakshusha. See in each one my temple, I dwell there. Try to help them to meet their genuine wants. And look at everybody with non-separateness. Maitriya abhinayin chakshusha. I think I have already taken more time than the allotted time. Yes, I have taken. But I will end with this small anecdote to emphasize. Because there is a beautiful story in the Upanishad where Narad happened to meet Vyas. And Vyas was sitting very, very desolate, looking very sad, melancholy. Narad asked, why you are so sad? He said, I have done so much labor. I have compiled all the knowledge and all the wisdom. But people, they are not ready to read. They are not ready to be benefited with this wisdom. Narad told him that whatever you have written is profoundly philosophical. They do not read it and they won't read it. So what to do? He said, reduce this wisdom into small stories, anecdotes. And that is the only way that the common man can benefit from it. Therefore, I am ending my remarks with this anecdote, which comes from Ananda Ramayana. And I think that is a powerful anecdote which should wake us up. What we do, and that should also make us think about what kind of wisdom and knowledge that we have inherited. This anecdote comes from Anand Ramayana, and it says that after Lord Ram came, after this Shri Lanka episode, when Lord Ram came back to Ayodhya, the Ram Rajya was established, everything was honky-dory, all good. Then a dog appears in the court of Bhagwan Ram and complains to him bitterly that I have been subjected to physical assault for no fault of mine. And who has hurt you? The Mahant of a place of worship, temple, he has hurt me. Then matter was examined. Somebody was sent to look into the matter, and he came back and he said, yes, the complaint is right. He has been hit and hurt by the Mahant of the Mandir. Then Lord Ram asked this dog, he said that I leave it to you. You suggest what punishment we should give to the Mahant. Dog said, please listen carefully. Dog said, make him chief priest of the temple. Mukhya Mahant. Orders were issued. He was promoted, became number one. Everybody laughed at the dog when he was going back in the court. And they asked him that you had come here to get him punished or get him promoted. He said that although I am in the body of a dog, but I am a conscious soul. It is because of some wrong which I committed in my previous birth that I had to take birth as a dog. But my sat karmas are so much that even in this body, I carry a conscious soul. But karma, so even the gods have to undergo the consequences of the karma. So I am undergoing the consequences of the karma. And I must tell you that these consequences I am suffering because in my last birth I was the chief priest. And he said that when you are the chief priest, you are number one, then you have no accountability. If you have no, these are the exact sentences. I am not interpreting them. These are the exact sentences which are written there. You have no accountability. And when you have no accountability, then you are most likely to do things which are stupid. So, I ask you, today the whole world is running on the basis of accountability. Even the person holding the top position is accountable to somebody. If not to somebody, at least ultimately to the people. But when we got this principle of accountability in India, remotest times, have we been truthful to that principle? No. We need more books from you, sir, and authors like to create this awareness about these great principles. And you refer to dharma, mortha, artha, what you say? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Well, the ultimate aim for which the Vedic teachings exhorts us is Name dvesh rago. Name dvesh rago, name lobh moho. Mado nev, menev, matsariya bhava. Na dharmo, na chartho, na kamo, na moksha. Chidanand Rupa Shivoham Shivo. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.